Hello, good afternoon. I know this is such a random time to do the coding, but today I want to go ahead and talk about merge intervals. So I've been working with some intervals here for a little bit here now. So here we're going to do merge intervals LeetCode today. So here you can see, let's go ahead and read the problem first. Let's go ahead and read the problem first. Given an array of intervals where intervals of I is equal to start and end, as you can see right here, this is the start time and this is the end time. So you're going to merge all overlapping intervals and return an array of the non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. As you can see here, in this first example, we get 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 arrays in one big array here. And the output here is that we get 3 arrays back in one big array. And the reason why we get 1 through 6 is because 3 and 2 overlaps with each other. So it's easier just to combine the start and the end time of 6 together. As you can see, let me go ahead and draw it out. So we have 1 starts here. I don't know why it does that, but it's okay. It's okay. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's do 7 and 8. Give them a little bit more space there. Okay, so you can see this meeting starts here until here. And then we have the second array that starts from here to here. And the reason why we put 1 and 6 together here, sorry, my context. The reason why we put 1 and 6 together here is because you can see there's some overlapping from 2 to 3. From 2 to 3 right here, so it's better just to go ahead and smush them together. So let's see, and then 8 and 10 are off by itself, and 15 and 18 is off by itself because 10 does not overlap with 15 because 10 is less than this start time here. So as you can see, there's a pattern between the end time of the last array and compare it to the start time of the next array. So as always, let's go ahead and assess what kind of data types we're getting. So we are getting an array, we are going to receive an array of arrays, and what we're going to do is return back one array with what is the word I'm looking for? A set of array with a set of array where overlapping intervals are grouped together, taking the smallest of the start time and the max of the latest time. So, okay, let's go ahead and create an example just so we can make sure we understand what's going on here. Alright, okay. So, say for instance, I have 226. Oops, 2, 6. And then I have 14, 8, or 14, 8. That doesn't make sense. Let's do it in military time. 14 to 28, and then we have a set or 7 to 21. So as you can see here, it's not sorted. 14 is the start time there, but as you can see, 2 to 6, is there anything that is in between it? As you can see, 14 is bigger than 6, so it's outside of the bounds of 2 to 6. So that will not be an issue. And the start time 7 is also outside of the 6. Or 6, since 6 is the max here. So this 2 to 6 can just go ahead and stay in here. And then as you can see, 14 and 7 are not sorted at the moment right now, but you can see that 7 is the biggest one. Here, 7 to 21. And as you can see, 21 does overlap with this part right here. So since it does overlap, we're gonna grab the latest one of 28. So this last array will contain 7 to 28 here. As you can see, all of the any overlapping areas are all merged in together into one array here, because the 7 falls in between the 4, or sorry, not the 7, the 21 does fall in between 14 and 28. An edge case is what if the intervals that are getting passed in is empty. So if intervals is empty, go ahead and return an empty array back. I don't know why I keep saying empty, but empty array back. Otherwise, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and sort the arrays. As you can see here, the edge case, or not the edge cases, excuse me, the examples they provide here is nicely sorted. It's nicely sorted 1, 4, 4, 5. But as you can see, sometimes our order of data that comes in can start with may not be sorted, as you can see here, with a 2 and then a 14, and then this could possibly hold like 100 and 110, and then a 14. So we don't really know what the data is gonna look like, but that's what we're gonna anticipate. So what we're gonna do to anticipate that is we're gonna sort the arrays by the start time. Then after sorting the arrays by the start time, since we already know that the result that we're gonna get back is an array of arrays, so we can initialize a result array with the current first interval. And then after that, we're gonna iterate through the intervals right here. Go ahead and iterate through each one of them. And then go ahead and iterate through each one of them, and then we're going to say, let me know if you can see my screen. But oops. Iterate through each one of them, and then we're gonna grab the current interval that we are looking at, compare it, grabbing the current interval, and we'll also have to grab the last digit, or sorry, the end time. Grab the end time from the last array. There we're gonna compare the start time to the end time of the next array. So here we're gonna say that, okay, so we're gonna look at 2. Let's grab this example here. Okay, so we're gonna say, hey, let me look at 2 and let me look at this end time right here. We're gonna check if they overlap. We're gonna check if they overlap. So compare the start to the end time. We're gonna check the start to the end time, and then we are going to go ahead and merge together. And when you're gonna merge it together, you're gonna grab the merge it together by grabbing the max number, because as you can see, if these were merged together at like this, I want to grab the max number of the end time and use that as my end time there. Else since I know they don't overlap, it's safe to go ahead and just push in what the current interval is doing right now. Else push in the current interval because I know there's no problem with it. It's not overlapping with the other intervals that I'm seeing. And then we're just gonna go ahead and return the result array. Alright, so from our pseudocode, we're gonna say intervals. If intervals is empty, then we're gonna return is fuzzy. Otherwise, what we're gonna do here, so our next line after our pseudocode, go ahead, intervals sort AB, where intervals of 0, excuse me, A of the start time of the first one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sort intervals in place, and we're going to go ahead and grab A of the first start time. So A is going to represent this one, then B is going to represent this next start time here. We're going to go ahead and sort every start time, and then afterwards we're going to say const result. We're going to say, hey, result, you're going to look like this for the moment. We're going to go ahead and put in the first intervals of 0. You're going to look like this for the temporary time being with some results, and result gets an array of the array back. Just to make sure. As you can see, say console.log result. We're grabbing the first array at the moment. Afterwards, what we're gonna do is, since we are already looking at the first number in the data set, then since we're already looking at the first value at index 0, we want to look at the index 1. So we're gonna go ahead and let I equal to 1 to capture the next second pair. And then we're gonna go and loop through the entire array I plus current. So you can grab the current array that we're looking at, which is intervals of I, and then const the last compared to the end of the next array. So result of result dot length minus 1. So we're gonna look it's not at the end time of the next array, it's of the current array in results. So here it's gonna look at 3, and it's gonna say, hey, does my here if my start time is less than or equal to last of last of 1, if my start time is less than or equal, that's a great edge case, because if it was like this, 214, we still want to merge them together because 14 and 14 still collide with each other. That's a great edge case. Noted. Oops. So if they are less than or equal to the last number, what I'm going to do is go ahead and update the last number to equal the max of the end time of either what's currently in the array right now, or what's currently in the array right now, or what's going to be it coming from the new array. Else, what we're going to do is go ahead. Otherwise, if there's no overlap in the array looks good. It can stay, and it doesn't overlap with the next set of numbers after we have already sorted. Then we can go ahead and push in current, which current already holds our start and end time array pair. Alright, afterwards, let's go ahead and return result. Okay, ta-da! As you can see here, the time is O. Since we are sorting is O and login space here. You are creating a new space, a result space, where you are pushing in new arrays of arrays. So I would have to say that it is O of n because we're pushing in new arrays. You're creating a new array called result that's gonna go ahead and be pushing in arrays of arrays. So that's what I'm gonna do. Time and space. I just want to see what, because sometimes I love reading other people's code because you can definitely learn a lot about the different perspective others took. I love to know what they saw and envisioned for time and space complexity, specifically for JavaScript. Did anyone talk? Okay. This one person did for a little bit. Just no space, complexity. Okay, so it is some, okay, O n login, O n. Okay. I'm learning so much through streaming this. So if you guys do have any questions, feel free to let me know. It does help me try to clarify my thoughts and my process across the screen. So let me know if I'm able to help out in any ways. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna do some PR review. So the criteria below is outside of my scope outside of the scope of my ticket to create the component should be implemented in another ticket. Create input loading spinner. When a user submits a button. Page 32. One thing, so now we're moving on to some Gridiron Survivors code review. One thing I always look for, because I just know that with everything that we do, there are always tests. And let's see. It seems here there will be some tests, and I will have to ask about tests. see any tests for the loading spinner? Will it be coming shortly? With everything that we do here at Gridiron Survivor, 100,000, 10,000, 100%, I'm so positive that a unit test is always required with everything. So I anticipate at least to see a unit test for loading spinner that it works as intended. So let's see. Alright, I will wait a little bit on that. Believe someone asked about another one. PX4. Remove heading from layout. Login and sign up pages are now flush. Aligns in the base to base construction. That's so interesting. The changes you made are more of a hack than the current fix. Is that me? Adding ability to create new entry. But yeah. So for my task, I'm available now for a while. What works for you? I'm not sure if he's on. But when you do have an availability, three entries would be great. One entry filled with teams so I can test. Edit. What is the word I'm looking for? So I can test. Thanks for hanging out today. I know that it was a little bit of LeetCode, a little bit of Gridiron Survivor. Hopefully be able to do a little bit of this every day. So I hope you like a little bit of that. So stay tuned in. I don't have a definite time yet, but if you guys have a time that works best for you guys, let me know too. I'll probably get the ball rolling, figure something out soon. So yeah, let's definitely talk soon. Bye. Have a great one. We'll talk soon.